Introduction to Crisis Intervention. Crisis intervention is a specialized approach designed to provide immediate, short-term support to individuals experiencing an acute emotional, behavioral, or psychiatric crisis. Its primary goal is to stabilize the situation, mitigate immediate harm, and restore the individual's coping mechanisms to their pre-crisis level of functioning. This field requires a unique blend of empathy, rapid assessment, and strategic communication to effectively address urgent needs. Understanding the foundational principles is crucial for anyone working in supportive roles, as crises can arise unexpectedly in various settings. Effective intervention can prevent escalation, reduce suffering, and connect individuals with longer-term resources. The historical development of crisis intervention stems from recognizing the need for immediate psychological first aid, particularly in response to traumatic events and natural disasters. Early models focused on brief, problem-focused interventions, evolving over time to incorporate more comprehensive psychological theories. Today, it is a critical component of mental health services, emergency response, and social work, emphasizing rapid response and client empowerment. This evolution reflects a growing understanding of human resilience and the importance of timely support during periods of extreme stress. Defining crisis and its types. A crisis is a perception or experience of an event or situation as an intolerable difficulty that exceeds the individual's current resources and coping mechanisms. It is characterized by a sudden onset, a sense of urgency, and a disruption of normal functioning, often leading to intense emotional distress. The individual's usual problem-solving abilities become overwhelmed, making them feel helpless or out of control. Understanding this subjective experience is vital, as what constitutes a crisis for one person may not for another, highlighting the importance of individualized assessment. Recognizing these core characteristics helps in identifying when intervention is necessary. Crises can be categorized into several types, each requiring a tailored intervention approach. Situational crises arise from unexpected, external events like job loss, natural disasters, or sudden illness. Developmental crises occur during normal life transitions, such as adolescence, marriage, or retirement, when individuals struggle to adapt to new roles or expectations. Existential crises involve internal conflicts about life's meaning, purpose, or freedom, often triggered by significant life events. Psychiatric crises involve acute exacerbations of mental health conditions, leading to severe distress or functional impairment. Each type presents unique challenges and demands specific intervention strategies to be effective. The crisis intervention model. The most widely recognized crisis intervention model involves a systematic 7-step approach designed to guide responders through the process of stabilizing and supporting individuals in crisis. This structured framework ensures that all critical aspects of the situation are addressed, from initial contact to follow-up. Following these steps helps maintain focus, manage complex emotions, and facilitate effective problem-solving. It provides a roadmap for navigating the unpredictable nature of crises, ensuring a consistent and comprehensive response. Adherence to this model enhances the likelihood of positive outcomes for those in distress. The 7 steps typically include assessing lethality and immediate safety concerns, establishing rapport and engaging the client, identifying the precipitating event and understanding the client's perspective, exploring feelings and emotions related to the crisis, generating and exploring alternative coping strategies, formulating an action plan, arranging for follow-up and ongoing support. Each step builds upon the previous one, creating a logical progression that moves the individual from a state of disequilibrium towards stability and renewed coping. This systematic approach is adaptable to various crisis scenarios. Assessing crisis situations. Effective crisis assessment is the cornerstone of appropriate intervention, requiring a rapid yet thorough evaluation of the individual's current state, the nature of the crisis, and potential risks. This initial phase involves gathering critical information to understand the precipitating event, the client's subjective experience, and their immediate safety. Key areas of inquiry include mental status, emotional state, coping resources, and social support systems. A skilled assessor must balance empathy with objective observation, quickly identifying both strengths and vulnerabilities. The goal is to gain a clear picture that informs the subsequent intervention strategies, ensuring that the response is tailored and effective. A crucial component of crisis assessment is evaluating lethality, which includes assessing the risk of suicide or harm to others. This involves direct questioning about suicidal ideation, plans, means, and intent, as well as any homicidal thoughts. Additionally, assessing for substance use, past history of violence, and access to weapons is paramount. The assessment also considers the individual's immediate environment for potential dangers or protective factors. This comprehensive risk evaluation guides decisions regarding safety planning, hospitalization, or other immediate protective measures, prioritizing the well-being of all involved. It is a dynamic process that continues throughout the intervention. Establishing rapport and trust. Establishing rapport and trust is fundamental to effective crisis intervention, as it creates a safe and receptive environment for the individual in distress. Without a foundation of trust, communication can be hindered, and the client may be reluctant to share vital information or accept help. This process begins immediately upon contact, requiring the intervener to demonstrate genuine empathy, respect, and non-judgmental acceptance. A calm, confident, and compassionate demeanor helps to de-escalate initial anxiety and build a connection. It is about creating a human connection that transcends the immediate crisis, fostering a sense of safety and understanding. This initial connection is often the most critical step in opening the door to meaningful support. Techniques for building rapport include active listening, validating feelings, maintaining appropriate eye contact, and using a calm, reassuring tone of voice. It is important to be authentic and transparent, explaining the purpose of the intervention and what the individual can expect. Cultural sensitivity plays a significant role, requiring awareness and respect for diverse backgrounds and beliefs. Avoiding jargon and speaking in clear, simple language also contributes to building trust. By demonstrating that their concerns are heard and understood, interveners can empower individuals to participate actively in their own recovery process, moving from a state of isolation to one of collaborative problem-solving. Active listening techniques. Active listening is a critical skill in crisis intervention, involving more than just hearing words. It requires fully concentrating on, understanding, responding to, and remembering what the other person is saying, both verbally and non-verbally. This deep level of engagement demonstrates respect and empathy, making the individual feel truly heard and valued during a vulnerable time. By actively listening, interveners can accurately grasp the client's perspectives, identify key stressors, and uncover underlying emotions. It helps to build rapport, de-escalate tension, and gather essential information for effective problem-solving. This focused attention is a powerful tool for creating a supportive environment. Crisis communication strategies. Effective communication is paramount during a crisis, as it can de-escalate tension, convey empathy, and provide crucial information to individuals in distress. The way an intervener speaks, listens, and responds can significantly impact the outcome of an intervention. Strategies focus on clarity, conciseness, and compassion, ensuring that messages are understood and received without adding to the client's overwhelm. It involves adapting communication style to the individual's emotional state and cognitive capacity, which may be impaired during a crisis. Mastering these strategies helps to create a stable and predictable interaction in an otherwise chaotic situation. Key crisis communication strategies include using a calm, steady, and reassuring tone of voice, speaking slowly and clearly using simple, direct language, validating feelings without necessarily agreeing with actions, offering choices and empowering the individual where possible, maintaining appropriate personal space and body language to convey respect and non-threat, providing clear, actionable instructions in small, manageable steps, avoiding jargon, blame, or confrontational language. These techniques help to build trust, reduce anxiety, and guide the individual towards a more stable state, facilitating problem-solving and safety planning. The goal is always to create a pathway for understanding and cooperation. Emotional regulation in crisis. Emotional regulation refers to the ability to manage and respond to an emotional experience, and it is often severely compromised during a crisis. Individuals in crisis may experience intense feelings of fear, anger, sadness, or helplessness, which can overwhelm their capacity to think clearly or act rationally. Interveners must help clients identify, acknowledge, and begin to process these powerful emotions in a safe and structured manner. The goal is not to suppress emotions, but to help the individual gain a sense of control over their emotional responses, preventing further escalation of distress. This process is crucial for moving towards problem-solving and recovery. Strategies for facilitating emotional regulation include validation, acknowledging and normalizing the client's feelings without judgment. Grounding techniques, helping the client focus on the present moment through sensory awareness to reduce overwhelming emotions. Breathing exercises, teaching simple techniques to calm the nervous system. Distraction, temporarily shifting focus from intense emotions to a neutral activity. Problem solving. Once emotions are somewhat regulated, guiding the client to address the crisis's practical aspects. These techniques provide immediate relief and empower individuals with tools to manage their emotional responses, fostering a sense of agency and self-efficacy. They are vital for moving beyond the immediate emotional storm. Safety planning and risk assessment. Safety planning is a crucial collaborative process designed to help individuals at risk of harm develop a personalized plan to stay safe. This plan is not a substitute for professional mental health treatment, but serves as an immediate, practical strategy to manage suicidal or homicidal urges and other dangerous behaviors. It involves identifying triggers, warning signs, and coping strategies, as well as outlining steps to take when a crisis escalates. The plan is developed with the client, ensuring it is realistic, accessible, and empowering. A well-constructed safety plan can provide a lifeline during moments of intense distress, offering concrete steps to follow. The development of a safety plan typically includes several key components. Identifying personal warning signs of an impending crisis. Listing internal coping strategies that can be used without contacting others. Identifying social contacts and settings that provide distraction or support. Listing family members or friends who can provide help. Identifying mental health professionals or agencies to contact for help. Reducing access to lethal means, such as removing weapons or medications. Each component is tailored to the individual's specific needs and circumstances, creating a comprehensive and actionable guide. Regular review and revision of the plan ensure its continued relevance and effectiveness. Suicide risk assessment and intervention. Suicide risk assessment is a critical and sensitive component of crisis intervention, requiring direct and compassionate inquiry into an individual's thoughts, plans, and intent to end their life. It is essential to overcome any hesitation in discussing suicide directly, as open communication can save lives. The assessment involves evaluating a range of factors, including current suicidal ideation, past attempts, presence of a plan and means, hopelessness, and protective factors. This comprehensive evaluation helps determine the level of risk and guides the immediate intervention strategy. A thorough assessment is the first step in providing life-saving support. Intervention for suicidal individuals prioritizes immediate safety and stabilization. This often involves maintaining a safe environment and removing lethal means, establishing a strong supportive connection and validating their pain, developing a safety plan collaboratively with the individual, connecting them with emergency services or higher levels of care, such as hospitalization if the risk is high, engaging support systems like family and friends. With appropriate consent, the goal is to reduce immediate danger and link the individual to ongoing mental health treatment. Follow-up is crucial to ensure continued safety and support, emphasizing that they are not alone in their struggle. Trauma-informed care principles. Trauma-informed care is an approach that recognizes the widespread impact of trauma and understands potential paths for recovery, integrating this knowledge into policies, procedures, and practices. It involves shifting the focus from what's wrong with you to what happened to you. This perspective acknowledges that many individuals seeking help may have experienced trauma, which can profoundly affect their behavior, relationships, and overall well-being. By adopting this framework, interveners create environments that are physically and psychologically safe, promoting healing rather than re-traumatization. It is a fundamental shift in how services are delivered, emphasizing respect and understanding. The core principles of trauma-informed care include safety, ensuring physical and psychological security for clients and staff, trustworthiness and transparency, building trust through clear communication and consistent actions, peer support, utilizing individuals with lived experience to foster hope and recovery, collaboration and mutuality, partnering with clients in decision-making and service delivery, empowerment, voice and choice, supporting clients in regaining control over their lives, cultural, historical, and gender issues, recognizing and addressing biases and stereotypes. These principles guide interactions, service design, and organizational culture, creating a supportive and healing environment that addresses the root causes of distress. This holistic approach is essential for effective crisis intervention. Intervening in domestic violence. Intervening in domestic violence crises requires a specialized approach due to the complex dynamics of power, control, and safety concerns. Victims often face significant barriers to seeking help, including fear of retaliation, economic dependence, and emotional manipulation. Crisis interveners must prioritize the victim's safety, validate their experiences, and empower them to make informed decisions. It is crucial to understand the cycle of violence and its impact on the victim's psychological state. The intervention aims to provide immediate safety, emotional support, and access to resources, while also addressing the perpetrator's accountability where appropriate. This sensitive work demands a non-judgmental and supportive stance. Key aspects of domestic violence intervention include ensuring immediate physical safety for the victim and any children, providing a safe space for disclosure and active listening without judgment, developing a personalized safety plan, including emergency contacts and escape routes, offering information about legal rights, protective orders, and shelters, connecting victims with domestic violence advocates and support groups, addressing the psychological impact of abuse, such as trauma and isolation, documenting incidents thoroughly and accurately for potential legal action. These steps are designed to empower victims, enhance their safety, and facilitate their journey towards healing and independence. Collaboration with law enforcement and other agencies is often essential. Substance abuse crisis intervention. Intervening in a substance abuse crisis requires a nuanced approach, as individuals may be under the influence, experiencing withdrawal, or facing acute health risks. The immediate goal is to ensure safety, stabilize the individual, and address any life-threatening medical emergencies. It is crucial to approach with empathy and non-judgment, recognizing that substance use often co-occurs with underlying mental health issues or trauma. The intervener must assess the level of intoxication or withdrawal, potential for harm to self or others, and the individual's willingness to accept help. This initial engagement is vital for opening the door to further treatment and support. Key intervention strategies include assessing for immediate medical emergencies and calling for medical assistance if needed, maintaining a calm and non-confrontational demeanor to de-escalate agitation, providing a safe and quiet environment to reduce stimulation, using motivational interviewing techniques to explore the individual's readiness for change, developing a safety plan that addresses immediate risks related to substance use, connecting the individual with detoxification services, treatment programs, and support groups, educating family members on how to support their loved one without enabling. These steps aim to stabilize the immediate crisis and facilitate entry into long-term recovery, emphasizing a continuum of care. Mental health crisis intervention. A mental health crisis involves an acute exacerbation of a mental health condition, leading to severe emotional distress, impaired functioning, or a risk of harm to self or others. These crises can manifest in various ways, including psychotic episodes, severe depression with suicidal ideation, extreme anxiety attacks, or manic episodes. Interveners must conduct a rapid assessment to determine the severity of symptoms, potential risks, and the individual's mental status. The goal is to stabilize the immediate crisis, ensure safety, and connect the individual with appropriate mental health services. A compassionate and non-judgmental approach is essential for building trust and facilitating cooperation. Effective mental health crisis intervention strategies include de-escalation techniques to manage agitation and aggression, active listening and validation of the individual's experience, even if it seems irrational, assessing for suicidal or homicidal ideation and implementing safety plans, providing clear, concise information about available resources and treatment options, collaborating with family members or support systems with appropriate consent, facilitating referral to psychiatric emergency services, inpatient hospitalization, or outpatient treatment, educating the individual and their support network about the mental health condition and coping strategies. These interventions aim to restore stability and link individuals to ongoing care, promoting long-term recovery and well-being. Child and adolescent crisis. Intervening in crises involving children and adolescents requires a developmentally sensitive approach, recognizing that their emotional regulation, cognitive abilities, and communication styles differ significantly from adults. Crises in this population can stem from various factors, including family conflict, bullying, academic stress, peer pressure, or exposure to trauma. The intervener must establish rapport in an age-appropriate manner, often utilizing play or creative expression to facilitate communication. The primary goals are to ensure the child's safety, alleviate distress, and involve parents or guardians in the intervention and safety planning process. Understanding their unique vulnerabilities is paramount. Key strategies for child and adolescent crisis intervention include creating a safe, child-friendly environment that promotes trust, using simple, direct language and age-appropriate communication techniques, validating their feelings and experiences without minimizing their distress, assessing for suicidal ideation, self-harm, or risk of harm from others, developing a safety plan that involves parents, guardians, and school personnel, connecting families with child and adolescent mental health services, school counselors, or community resources, educating parents on how to support their child and recognize warning signs. These interventions aim to stabilize the child, strengthen family coping, and ensure access to ongoing support, fostering healthy development and resilience. Grief and loss crisis. A grief and loss crisis occurs when an individual experiences an overwhelming emotional response to a significant loss, such as the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or the loss of a job or health. While grief is a natural process, a crisis arises when the individual's coping mechanisms are overwhelmed, leading to severe distress, functional impairment, or complicated grief reactions. Interveners must approach with profound empathy, validating the individual's pain and providing a safe space for them to express their emotions. The goal is to support the individual through the acute phase of grief, helping them to process their loss and begin to adapt to their new reality. Key strategies for intervening in grief and loss crises include active listening and validating the intensity of their grief without judgment, normalizing the grief process, and explaining that intense feelings are a natural response to loss, encouraging healthy expression of emotions, whether through talking, crying, or creative outlets, assessing for complicated grief, depression, or suicidal ideation, and referring for specialized support if needed, helping the individual identify and utilize their existing support systems, assisting with practical tasks that may feel overwhelming, such as funeral arrangements or administrative duties, providing resources for grief counseling, support groups, and spiritual care. These interventions aim to facilitate healthy grieving and prevent the development of more severe mental health issues, offering comfort and guidance during a profoundly difficult time. Disaster and community crisis. Disaster and community crises involve large-scale events that overwhelm the resources of an entire community, such as natural disasters, mass casualty incidents, or public health emergencies. These crises impact a broad population, leading to widespread trauma, displacement, and disruption of essential services. Crisis interveners in these situations often work as part of larger emergency response teams, providing psychological first aid, emotional support, and practical assistance to affected individuals and families. The intervention focuses on immediate stabilization, meeting basic needs, and fostering community resilience. Understanding the unique challenges of collective trauma is essential. Key strategies for disaster and community crisis intervention include providing psychological first aid, PFA, to individuals and groups, focusing on safety, calm, connection, self-efficacy, and hope. Establishing safe and supportive environments in shelters or community centers. Assisting with basic needs such as food, water, shelter, and medical care. Facilitating reunification of families and loved ones. Disseminating accurate and timely information to reduce anxiety and rumors. Connecting individuals with long-term recovery resources, including mental health services and financial aid. Supporting community leaders in organizing and coordinating local response efforts. These interventions address both the immediate and long-term psychological and practical needs of a community in crisis, promoting collective healing and rebuilding. Cultural competence in crisis. Cultural competence in crisis intervention is the ability to understand, appreciate, and effectively interact with people from cultures and belief systems different from one's own. It involves recognizing how cultural background influences an individual's perception of crisis, their coping mechanisms, and their willingness to seek or accept help. A culturally competent intervener avoids imposing their own cultural values and instead adapts their approach to be respectful and relevant to the client's cultural context. This sensitivity is crucial for building trust, reducing misunderstandings, and providing effective, person-centered care. Without it, interventions can be ineffective or even harmful. Key aspects of cultural competence include self-awareness, understanding one's own cultural biases and assumptions. Knowledge, learning about diverse cultural practices, beliefs, and communication styles. Skill, adapting intervention techniques to be culturally appropriate and effective. Respect, approaching all interactions with genuine respect for cultural differences. Humility, recognizing the limits of one's own cultural knowledge and being open to learning. This involves considering factors such as language barriers, family structures, spiritual beliefs, and historical experiences of oppression or discrimination. Integrating cultural competence ensures that interventions are not only clinically sound, but also deeply respectful and inclusive, fostering better outcomes for all individuals in crisis. Ethical considerations in intervention. Ethical considerations are paramount in crisis intervention, guiding professional conduct and ensuring the well-being and rights of individuals in distress. Interveners operate in highly sensitive situations, often making rapid decisions with significant consequences. Adherence to ethical principles such as beneficence, non-maleficence, autonomy, and justice is crucial. This involves prioritizing the client's best interests, avoiding harm, respecting their right to self-determination, and ensuring fair and equitable treatment. Navigating complex ethical dilemmas requires careful thought, professional judgment, and often consultation with supervisors or colleagues. Ethical practice builds trust and maintains the integrity of the profession. Key ethical principles and considerations include confidentiality, protecting client information with clear limits for safety; informed consent, ensuring clients understand the intervention process and agree to participate; boundaries, maintaining professional distance and avoiding dual relationships; competence, practicing within one's scope of training and expertise; duty to warn, protect, balancing confidentiality with the need to protect identifiable third parties from harm; cultural sensitivity, adapting interventions to respect diverse cultural values. These principles provide a framework for responsible and effective crisis intervention, ensuring that clients receive care that is both clinically sound and ethically guided. Regular ethical reflection and training are essential for all crisis responders. Self-care for crisis workers. Working in crisis intervention is inherently demanding and can lead to significant emotional and psychological strain, including burnout, compassion fatigue, and secondary trauma. Therefore, self-care is not a luxury, but an ethical imperative for crisis workers to maintain their well-being and sustain their effectiveness. Prioritizing self-care ensures that interveners can continue to provide high-quality support without depleting their own resources. It involves consciously engaging in activities that promote physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Recognizing the signs of stress and implementing proactive self-care strategies is crucial for longevity in the field. Effective self-care strategies include establishing clear boundaries between work and personal life, engaging in regular physical activity and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, practicing mindfulness, meditation, or other relaxation techniques, seeking supervision and peer support to process challenging experiences, pursuing hobbies and interests outside of work that bring joy and fulfillment, ensuring adequate sleep and nutrition, limiting exposure to secondary trauma outside of work, such as excessive news consumption. These practices help to replenish emotional reserves, mitigate the impact of stress, and prevent burnout, enabling crisis workers to remain resilient and compassionate in their vital roles. Self-care is a continuous and personalized process. Documentation and reporting. Thorough and accurate documentation is a critical component of crisis intervention, serving multiple purposes including continuity of care, legal protection, and accountability. Detailed records ensure that all aspects of the crisis, assessment, intervention, and safety planning are accurately captured. This information is vital for subsequent care providers, allowing them to understand the client's history and current needs without requiring the client to repeat their traumatic story. Proper documentation also protects the intervener in legal or ethical reviews and provides data for program evaluation and improvement. It is a professional responsibility that underpins effective and ethical practice. Key elements of crisis documentation include date, time, and duration of the intervention, clients identifying information and presenting problem, detailed description of the precipitating event and the client's subjective experience, assessment findings, including mental status, risk factors, and protective factors, specific interventions used and the client's response, safety plan details, including who is involved and what actions were agreed upon, referrals made and follow-up arrangements, any consultations with supervisors or other professionals. Documentation should be objective, factual, concise, and completed as soon as possible after the intervention to ensure accuracy. Adherence to privacy regulations, such as HIPAA, is also paramount. Referral and follow-up procedures. Crisis intervention is typically short-term, focusing on immediate stabilization. Therefore, referral to ongoing support and follow-up procedures are essential for long-term recovery and preventing future crises. A successful intervention often culminates in connecting the individual with appropriate resources, such as mental health therapy, support groups, medical care, or social services. The referral process involves identifying the most suitable resources based on the client's needs, preferences, and eligibility. It is crucial to provide clear information about these resources and, whenever possible, facilitate the initial contact to reduce barriers to access. This ensures a continuum of care beyond the immediate crisis. Follow-up procedures are equally important to ascertain the client's well-being, confirm engagement with referrals, and address any new challenges that may have arisen. Follow-up contact, whether by phone or in person, demonstrates continued care and support, reinforcing the client's sense of connection and reducing feelings of isolation. It allows the intervener to assess the effectiveness of the initial intervention and make adjustments to the safety plan or referral strategy if necessary. This ongoing support helps to solidify gains made during the crisis intervention and promotes sustained recovery. It is a vital step in ensuring lasting positive outcomes. Team-based crisis response. Team-based crisis response involves multiple professionals collaborating to address complex crisis situations, leveraging diverse expertise and resources. This approach is particularly effective in large-scale incidents, situations requiring specialized knowledge, e.g., medical and mental health, or when a single intervener's capacity is insufficient. Teams can include mental health professionals, law enforcement, medical personnel, social workers, and community volunteers. Effective teamwork ensures a comprehensive, coordinated, and efficient response, minimizing duplication of effort and maximizing client safety and support. Clear roles, communication, and mutual respect are essential for successful team-based interventions. Key advantages of a team-based approach include enhanced safety for both clients and responders, access to a broader range of skills and resources, improved decision-making through diverse perspectives, increased efficiency in managing complex situations, reduced burden and burnout for individual responders, better coordination with external agencies and community resources, more comprehensive assessment and intervention planning. Establishing clear lines of communication, defining roles and responsibilities, and conducting regular debriefings are crucial for optimizing team performance and ensuring that all aspects of the crisis are addressed effectively. This collaborative model is a hallmark of modern crisis management. Legal aspects of crisis intervention. Crisis interveners must be aware of the legal aspects that govern their practice, as interventions often involve situations with potential legal ramifications, such as involuntary commitment, child protection, or duty to warn. Understanding relevant laws and regulations is crucial for ethical and legally sound practice, protecting both the client's rights and the intervener from liability. This includes knowledge of mental health codes, confidentiality laws, and reporting mandates. Navigating these legal frameworks requires careful consideration and, at times, consultation with legal professionals or supervisors. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse and can lead to serious consequences. Key legal considerations include involuntary commitment, criteria and procedures for hospitalizing individuals against their will due to danger to self or others. Confidentiality and its limits. When information can or must be disclosed, e.g., child abuse, elder abuse, duty to warn. Duty to warn and protect. The legal obligation to notify potential victims or authorities when a client poses a serious threat of harm to others. Mandatory reporting. Requirements to report suspected child abuse, elder abuse, or neglect. Client rights. Ensuring individuals in crisis are informed of their rights, even during involuntary interventions. Documentation. Maintaining accurate and objective records for legal defense. These legal aspects underscore the importance of professional training clear policies, and ethical decision-making in all crisis intervention activities. Adherence to these laws is non-negotiable. De-escalation techniques. De-escalation techniques are essential skills in crisis intervention, aimed at reducing agitation, aggression, and potential violence in individuals experiencing extreme emotional distress. The primary goal is to create a safe environment for everyone involved and to help the individual regain control of their emotions and behavior. These techniques focus on verbal and non-verbal communication strategies that calm and reassure, rather than confront or provoke. A skilled intervener can prevent a volatile situation from escalating into physical harm, protecting both the client and themselves. Mastering de-escalation is a cornerstone of effective crisis response. Key de-escalation techniques include maintaining a calm and non-threatening demeanor, including body language and tone of voice, respecting personal space and avoiding direct eye contact that could be perceived as challenging, using active listening and validating feelings to show empathy and understanding, offering choices and empowering the individual to make decisions where appropriate, speaking slowly, clearly, and in a low tone, using simple, direct language, avoiding arguing, challenging, or confronting the individual's delusions or irrational thoughts, suggesting a change of environment if the current setting is overstimulating or unsafe. These strategies help to build rapport, reduce anxiety, and guide the individual towards a more rational state, facilitating problem-solving and safety planning. The focus is always on creating a pathway to cooperation and safety. Advanced crisis intervention skills build upon foundational knowledge, enabling interveners to handle more complex, nuanced, and high-risk situations with greater proficiency. These skills involve integrating various therapeutic approaches, sophisticated risk assessment, and strategic resource utilization. They require a deeper understanding of psychopathology, trauma, and systemic factors that contribute to crisis. Developing advanced skills means moving beyond basic stabilization to facilitate deeper insight, promote long-term resilience, and address underlying issues. This continuous learning and refinement of techniques are crucial for seasoned professionals in the field. Advanced skills often include complex risk assessment, integrating multiple data points for nuanced evaluation of lethality and harm, trauma-informed cognitive restructuring, helping clients reframe traumatic experiences, advanced motivational interviewing, deepening engagement and commitment to change, systemic intervention, addressing family or community dynamics contributing to the crisis, crisis supervision and consultation, providing guidance to less experienced interveners, advocacy, empowering clients to navigate complex systems and secure necessary resources, specialized population interventions, tailoring approaches for specific groups like veterans, refugees, or individuals with severe mental illness. These advanced competencies allow interveners to provide more comprehensive and impactful support, leading to better outcomes for individuals facing severe and persistent challenges.